All right, so hello to all of you on live stream and here in the live Zoom meeting. Lost my notes here. This is one of our Thursday evening Zoom meetups of the vidwheel Creator Network, and this is the public-facing part of this group. So what is the VCN? It is a group that brings together consultants and solopreneurs who aspire to take our businesses to the next level using self-produced video. We come together in order to master our gear, to learn and develop the skills necessary to make powerful video content and look awesome on camera so that we can sustain and grow our businesses, reach a wider audience of clients and partners who need to hear our message, and develop the flexibility in our business to thrive in a turbulent world. If you find that intriguing and you like the content that you hear tonight and you find it valuable and want to grow your business through video, this might be the group for you. So check it out at vidwheel.com or book a call with me. We have no strings attached meetings. I just would love to chat video, your challenges, what your plans are. There's a link, a Calendly link in the description of this video. So the live stream is a good preview of one of these meetings, but if you want to get the full experience, join us for the next Zoom meetup, which is on Thursday, April 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern. We feature podcast expert and producer Ryan Sullivan. Ryan will be kicking off YouTube month with a presentation called Understanding YouTube, How to Create on the Second Largest Search Engine. The event info will be published at events.vidwheel.com, and you can find that link in the description of this live stream. And with that, let's talk about our modified presentation tonight. So we're continuing on presenting with video as our monthly theme, and today we're doing things a little bit differently. So in honor of St. Patrick's Day, and to demonstrate the time traveling abilities of presenting with video, because our speaker is in Ireland and it's the middle of the night in Ireland right now, we'll be watching a recorded presentation by customer experience expert and coach, and probably fast asleep in Ireland right now, Deirdre Martins. You might be thinking, but what if I have questions? After the presentation, we will have a discussion between the group that we have here live. And tomorrow at noon, Deirdre and I will be doing a live stream on LinkedIn where we'll be doing a Q&A about this presentation. So I hope you'll consider joining us there. There will be a link to the live stream in the description as well. So with that, let's get to it. I am going to just simply share my screen and share Deirdre's presentation here. That. And I'll just need thumbs up from somebody when we get rolling here that we got audio coming through.
Hello, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. My name is Deirdre Martins, and I am here in Kilkenny in Ireland. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to speak to you and today about customer journey mapping and how you can use video to enhance it. Seeing as how it's St. Patrick's Day, I must take this opportunity to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day in Irish. Lá Éile Pádraig Sunna Ghuit. I have spelled it out phonetically as well. So if you want to go and surprise some family or friends by speaking in Irish to them, just repeat after me. Lá Éile Pádraig Sunna Ghuit. There you go. You're like expert Irish speakers now. Okay, I will remove my flag for the rest of the presentation. So it's fantastic to be here and be able to speak to you. And unfortunately, I can't be there in person right now because of the time difference. But as we get stuck into customer journey mapping, what I really want you to get clear on, I'm just going to close my video so I'm not covering the slides. What I really want you to get clear on is that customer service and customer journey mapping alone is not what makes up customer experience. Customer experience is entirely different. Customer experience is much more. It's like an elephant. It comprises branding. Your branding is your business's purpose, vision, mission, values. It's the culture. It's the vibe of your brand. It's whether you're funny, whether you're serious, whether you are a luxury brand or you're an accessible brand, whether you are you're approachable in terms of your employees, even if you have any. Branding is much more than your website, your logo. It's your entire style. It's your identity. It's your business's identity. Actually, that's the best way to describe it. And it is the foundational element of customer experience, because your brand is almost like a business plan in the sense that it sets out who your ideal clients are and how you're going to do business with them. Marketing is next, because marketing tells the story of your brand. Marketing is how you capture people's attention, and video is a fantastic way to do that. Branding and marketing are not the same thing. Marketing tells your brand's story. Leadership is next. You need to live your brand's ideals, even as a solopreneur. And that means sharing your brand's vibe. It means delivering on your marketing promise. It means being strategic and solving problems and enhancing experiences so that customers will love what you offer. Customer journeys are next. And the one point I'll make here before we delve really deeply into customer journeys is that customer journeys are very much about creating a memory or a thought or an emotion in a client as they embark on a journey with your business. Because if a client doesn't remember your business, in the same way if you meet a person and you don't remember the person the next time you meet them, well, if they don't remember you, they're not going to come back and become a repeat buyer. Number two, they're not going to talk to you about or talk about you to anybody else because you didn't actually make an impact on them. So creating a memory, a thought, or an emotion at some point through your customer journey is what can make the experience exceptional. Sales is next. I know a lot of solopreneurs and small business owners are in some ways resistant to sales because nobody likes feeling sold to. So let me reframe that in your mindset in two ways. Number one, reframe sales as you are solving people's problems with your offer. Your services provide a solution to somebody else's problem. You can fix their problem and make their life better. That is sales tip number one. Sales tip number two is if you don't sell your products or services and grow your customer base, you will have no business. Okay, so it's a win-win situation. And finally is customer service. So customer service is typically transactional in nature. It's where you go to get a problem fixed when you've got a problem, but it's where the business delivers on what the marketing promise was, what you told the client in the sales conversation, and what your brand's promise is. So I want you to think about a customer journey and a typical customer journey and where it might begin and end. And let me put it into context for you. Imagine you're coming to visit me in Ireland and you go to a travel agent, you book your trip there. Well, that might be where the journey starts, but what initiated the need or desire for you to come to Ireland in the first instance? Secondly, when the plane hits the tarmac in Dublin Airport, your journey hasn't ended. You still need to disembark. Well, the plane needs to pull into the terminal before you disembark, right? Then you need to collect your luggage. You need to go through passport or customs and find your way down to me in Kilkenny. Is the journey over? No, because it's a return journey. So there are multiple points along the journey with the travel company or with the airline that you've chosen, there are multiple touch points where potentially that journey could get bumpy, a little bit of turbulence, right? So those are the things that can impact the journey and make it either a positive journey or not. My point is that if we think, or if we allow the journey in our business to end too soon, we can miss opportunities to cross-sell and upsell to our clients. Okay, so let's move through what the typical phases are in a customer journey. So what I want you to think about here is that first and foremost, there are 11 phases in a customer journey. Bear in mind that these phases can overlap and that probably 10 of them potentially could all happen in one engagement with the client, depending on what the product or service is that you offer. But let's look firstly at this need or desire phase. And I like to give an example. A client of mine is a wedding photographer. And so I'm already married and I don't need a wedding photographer. So unless I decide to renew my vows and do something like that, then I will never have a need or desire in the future for a wedding photographer. The other point is, imagine if I'm engaged and I am now looking for a wedding photographer, and this wedding photographer serves me and does an exceptional job, and I'm very pleased with the photographs and the experience that I had with that photographer. If the photographer says to me at the end or towards the end of the journey, Deirdre, how about we do a 1-year anniversary shoot? That then instills a need or desire in me later on in the journey to engage the services of that photographer again. Okay, so I hope you're with me so far. I'm going to move pretty swiftly through these, and I know I can't be there to answer your questions today, but I will be back with you tomorrow during the afternoon time here to answer any questions you may have. So the first phase is the discovery phase. And this is one that we really can control. This is where we can show up because it's where the client recognizes they have a problem, they have a need or a desire, there's something they're trying to achieve. And now maybe they've gone to Google and they've typed in whatever the problem is or how to fix it or how to do whatever. They might have gone to YouTube or maybe some other social media platform, but they're looking for solutions because they're aware that they have a problem. And this is how they can become aware of your brand. And video is a fantastic way to help people become aware of your brand, particularly when you use captions and things like that, because it helps with search engine optimization and it helps people discover you. Being very clear in your marketing message, being consistent with your branding are two of the things that will help you get discovered better. And this is why it takes between 5 to 7 times for somebody to remember you, and also for you to become recognizable, for people to get to know, like, and trust you. When you show up consistently across all of your platforms and the feeling is the same and the look is the same, well, then that builds credibility around your brand and trust so that people will want to engage your services. So branding and marketing for the discovery phase are exceptionally important. Next is the inquiry phase. So video is a fantastic tool to use in the inquiry phase. This is where your people are on your website and potentially they've clicked through to your services or your products, and you can use video to present your products online. In fact, imagine you're an accountancy firm, and rather than have people knock on your door or come into your office, where you can demonstrate using video in some way or talking through your services on video, it's actually much more impactful to use video in that scenario than it would be possibly to have somebody come in and talk to somebody at your reception desk in an office. So where clients engage online and you can use video, that's fantastic. Having said that, if you do have an office space, having TV screen or, some sort of digital board where people are watching videos as they're waiting, you can have sales pitch conversations or sales pitch type presentations going on in the background there to further enhance and explain the services that you offer. Next is the evaluation phase. In the evaluation phase, the client either accepts or rejects your offer. They make their decision there and then. Sometimes, if it's an emotional buyer, typically they will decide on the spot. If it's not an emotional buyer, if it's a logical buyer, or if the key decision maker is not present during the evaluation phase, you will not get a decision on the spot. The affirmation phase is when the client has said yes to doing business with you, affirming to them that they have made a good decision will help to ensure that they don't get buyer's remorse or perhaps seek a refund very early on. Think about today is St. Patrick's Day, and imagine that you have gone to that travel agent and you have booked a trip to Ireland to come in 2023. But something crops up in your business throughout the year, which leaves you feeling, I wish I hadn't spent that money on that trip. And so buyer's remorse creeps in. But imagine the travel agent sends you regular videos or updates about your destination and perhaps tours that are available, and they're all with video. By seeing those on a regular basis between the time you've decided to go ahead and the future state point at which you'll get to start to activate and use the service or be on your trip, if somebody sends you regular videos with things like that, you can picture yourself there and you are much less likely to experience something like buyer's remorse. So video is a powerful tool that can be used to affirm to people that they've made a good decision by choosing you to help them with their problem, their need, their goal, or their desire. Onboarding phase is next. A great example of this, I was speaking to somebody recently who offers marketing services in New Jersey, actually. And what they do is they have a questionnaire that they send to clients when clients are seeking to use paid ads on Google or Facebook. And that questionnaire that they send, they actually create a BombBomb video to go with it to explain the things that the client needs to do, because at different phases then the client can respond. So it makes filling out the questionnaire almost like an automated process, but it's still sent in a personalized email. So that video, it's a typical thing that they can integrate into their journey that explains things in more detail so that the business and the team don't need to consistently have the same conversation over and over and over again with all different clients. They've taken one video recording and that's what they send to clients. And it's a fantastic way to move clients through the phase and into the next stage where they're going to activate your services. Activation phase, this is really important from a customer journey perspective. If you think about it, if you get a new phone, let's say, the first thing you want to do with your new phone is use it, right? You want to test out the new camera, you want to see how it looks, how it sounds, and what the pictures come out like. You just want to get using your phone. If you sign up for a subscription, let's say you sign up for Audible, you want to download your new book and get listening straight away. It's the exact same in your business when clients subscribe to your services. If they sign up to do business with you, they want to get started immediately. If there are any bumps on this stage of the journey, it can be detrimental to your brand. So ironing out bumps here and making sure that you're delivering both on your brand promise, which is it's easy, it's simple, it's quick, for example, or your marketing message, which explained that your brand promises that you can get activated within however many hours, or you can use it straight away. Those are the types of things that you need to absolutely ensure that your business delivers on in the activation phase. Next is acclimatization phase. This is one of my favorites. It's where clients start to become familiar with your way of doing things. So if you send a weekly email on a Monday, they expect your weekly email on a Monday. And video is something that people can become acclimatized to how you do things as well. I'm guessing Neil communicates quite a lot with you folks on video. So I would imagine that if he sent something in a different way, you would think, why isn't he doing it in the usual way, right? And so the other thing that can happen in the acclimatization phase is that people will start to become familiar with the language that you're using. In fact, that can be, for example, within the vidwheel community, I'm guessing you folks have terminology that you use that perhaps you didn't use before joining that community. And that's certainly, I see what's happening with my clients as well. And there's a way to explain that. They're nearly like buzzwords of your business. But why it's happening is because clients are acclimatizing to your way of doing things. That's really exciting. You're building a tribe. So if you've got set words or terminology that you're seeing your clients use, you should be excited. It means they're acclimatizing. And be mindful for people who are new on your journey or have never done business with you before, you may need to hold their hands a little bit at the very outset to give them that opportunity to acclimatize. Next is the accomplishing phase. What's scary about this is that nearly 70% of business owners, their clients, never accomplish what it was that they set out to achieve in the first instance with that business. You can use video as a way to check in with clients from the time they said yes to doing business with you till the end of the journey to see if they are achieving their goals. And if they are achieving their goals, or if you're aware that they're achieving milestones, how can you incorporate video into your journey to celebrate that with the client, or to perhaps surprise them with the client? And let me just at this point out that for a customer experience to be exceptional, clients say that they want a consistent and smooth journey all the way throughout, as opposed to a journey where you're trying to constantly wow them or delight them. But when you, so what makes a good journey is it's smooth, but what makes an exceptional journey is that occasional surprise. And video is a lovely way to do that. It's personalized. And when you personalize it, it's even more impactful than when it's not personalized. But personalizing a video just for your clients, it's lovely. And whether it's you on the camera or even some sort of an animation, let's say, for example, let's imagine it's some sort of animation for a birthday, or for, you know, celebrating that milestone, a congratulations message, for example. Something like that is a lovely way to celebrate your client accomplishments, you know, and your client's accomplishments. So next is adopting phase. And this is where clients are happy with your business. They are satisfied, they have achieved their goals, and they align themselves to your business. So they will, if somebody asks them, how do they do that? What made their life easier? They will talk about you when asked to, but they're not cheerleaders yet. Cheerleaders are the people who will say, oh my gosh, did you see what happened to me? Or did you see my new video? And wasn't it incredible? I did that with Neil in vidwheel. You need to sign up and work with Neil in vidwheel. And that is exactly what a cheerleader sounds like. They will tell anyone who will listen about how amazing and incredible you are, and that everybody else is nuts if they don't work with you. And what I would like to point out for this phase for clients is that when they're feeling like that, like all emotions fade over time. And it would be foolish in your business to not capitalize on clients feeling those emotions at that point in time. And you can do this in a nice way that rewards clients for being a cheerleader of your business. So you can incentivize them with things like affiliate links or, referral schemes, things like that, that encourage people who are very strongly affiliated with your brand, with what you've done for them, to inspire others to come and have the same result and success with your business. So folks, that's it from me. I've covered an awful lot in a very short period of time. I do hope that you found it useful. If anybody would like to schedule a free one-on-one 30-minute call with me, you can scan the QR code there on the screen. Neil has all of the rest of my details, and please connect with me on LinkedIn, but Neil has my details, and I will be back tomorrow for a live Q&A session. So keep all of your questions for me then, and I'll be delighted to answer them and chat to you in person. So for today, slán in ish, agus a ríis, lá éile pádraig chuna gcuid. Gurb maith agaibh.
I should unmute myself. Well, that was Deirdre Martin, and going through her customer journey with video presentation there. I wonder if right off the top here, if anybody has any questions or comments on that. Oh,
yeah, I don't have any
Linda's.
questions, but I thought it was interesting that some of those phases I didn't even think about using video. So all of those phases, you can have videos in there, and it just makes it better. So that was a really good presentation, and gets my mind thinking about other ways to use video.
Yeah, I have to say I had never considered that many phases in the customer journey. So that's an interesting, very multi, level look at it, which I think is great. Does anybody else have anything? And I would agree, video wise, like to use it in the affirmation phase, to use it in that activation phase. Those are the ones that I wrote down, right? Like in activation, if you're trying to get a service or a product going, like video would be great to show people how to get it up and running, right? And affirmation, right? Are you excited about your new product? You made a great decision. We're excited to get it to you, type of thing. That's great stuff. So anybody else have thoughts or questions on it that I can bring to Deirdre tomorrow?
I think it's you really have to know what your business is and how you can make people feel comfortable. And I've definitely found more people getting my services when they reach out to me, and me not just sending them an email with an ebook, but sending them a video. And that really, I've seen that since I've been here. And I really could add more videos related to the whole process. And I think that's a good point, that you don't really realize how many times you're really touching a client before you make that sale. So she brought out good points with that too.
Yeah, that's a great point. And especially in specific industries, but yours being one of them, Gina, like you yourself are such an important part of the service that you sell, that making that introduction, letting people know what the interactions are going to be like and everything, right? And the whole know, like, trust factor there is super important, and it's a lot easier to get across with some video content versus just a line of text in an email. So anybody else have anything?
Well, I've been in the process of promoting the corporate training via improv, and I think that there's been some pushback from people who have a misconception of what it is, or think that they're going to have to do a performance or or maybe they, don't really know what it's about, so they're reluctant to even like show up to an exploratory meeting or commit in any way. So I guess one of my short-term goals is to do a few videos that kind of introduce the concept and maybe demonstrate it a little bit. And I think people will be much more interested, or I'll find out if that's a way that I can get people to be more interested.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and, to go back to Deirdre's presentation there, right? That evaluation phase where they decide this is for me, this isn't for me.
Right.
If you've got more definition around what things look like, versus, ambiguity there, that can work well. And that could be a good space for some video content. So
I agree.
Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else have anything or any questions you want me to bring Deirdre tomorrow on the live stream? All right. I'm going to have to come out with all my own questions. Let's see. I was actually pretty surprised and not surprised during the accomplishing phase. She mentioned that 70% of businesses that set out to use a service or a product don't achieve the goal. So I guess that would be customers, or maybe that's a B2B stat, but don't achieve what they had hoped to by purchasing said product, right? So that's interesting. And Lynn, that ties into your LinkedIn poll, I believe, from today, right? So that's always interesting, right? Like, as the business, the service provider, getting the sale is not where it ends. Getting it completed and helping those clients kind of get to that point plays a huge role there. So that was my big takeaway, and that's probably what I'll talk about tomorrow. But if nobody has any direct questions, we can move on to the close of the meeting, but I want to give one more chance. Anybody have any other comments or questions tied to
Well,
the
I think just
presentation?
to double down on what you just mentioned about the accomplishing part, if that
Sure.
includes providing services that actually do what was advertised, if that includes products that don't break, that
Sure.
fill the gap or supply the solution to the problem properly, then that's where most businesses fail. I wouldn't say that's where they fail. Probably many small businesses fail just getting the message out to begin with, just the discovery phase. But I mean, I can't tell you how often I'm disappointed by a plethora of organizations and companies, marketing companies that I've sent money to that were supposed to be able to get me leads, or something as simple as LED spotlights that only work for one summer. Or just go down, a t-shirt that's printed with a crooked emblem or crooked imprint. I mean, it's just, it never ends, or the Dunkin' Donuts sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich that I got that was barely unfrozen. So it's constant and never ending. I think, people need to really step up their game.
Yeah. And I mean, and Deirdre touched on some of that, right? Where when you get it all right, you get to that cheerleader phase where, at this end of the state, Russ, we only talk about Tim Hortons, not Dunkin' Donuts. And that's some of the cheerleading right there, right? So
it's all BS up until it's all BS up until you provide a valuable service or product. So
yeah. It's you got to get it right all the way to the end of that cycle if you want to hit if you want people saying really nice things about what you're doing. So I think that's a super valuable insight that you brought there, and I'm going to use that as our closeout for this live stream portion. Everybody in the meeting here, feel free to stick around a little longer for more discussion about this if you would like. But to all of you on the live stream, I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, don't miss the next one of these meetings, which is coming up April 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's featuring podcast expert and producer Ryan Sullivan, and he's going to be kicking off YouTube Month presenting Understanding YouTube, How to Create on the Second Largest Search Engine. So that event will be published at events.vidwheel.com. It's also in the description of this live stream.